Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your best friend in real estate, David Stoltzman. I'm doing a video today about the Dallas housing policy. Super stoked to do this one. I've been doing a lot of research over the last almost year on where this thing's headed and what exactly is it. So today, I'm going to address why this thing came to be to begin with. So what problem is it solving? What solutions do they have for the problem? And then what are some questions that come out of what I've found and what probably other people have found on this particular issue, the Dallas housing policy. So we'll get right into it. So what's the problem? What is the problem that this housing policy is trying to fix? Well, essentially, in short, Dallas doesn't have enough affordable housing units. Over the years, Dallas has been historically racist when it comes to homes and lending and property ownership. And what I mean by that is it's more of an institutional segregation. So they decide that they're going to redline certain areas on a map and say we're not going to lend or help people in those areas. What that does is it eventually creates really, really good neighborhoods and really, really bad neighborhoods. And Dallas, like other cities, and Dallas isn't the only city to do this. This was pretty popular in the early 20th century. If you go back and look, no one just really wants to talk about it. So Dallas, having had that history, they can also, I guess, make it right by creating home ownership for people that they have disenfranchised over the years. The city is effectively short what they calculate to be about 20,000 units between home ownership and home rentals, people who need homes, either buying or renting. So with that, there's a vanishing price point, so anything under $300,000 in Dallas is pretty much going away. And that's pretty much what most of the market needs, is homes under $300,000 or under $200,000, just affordable homes. So the problem is not affordable housing, or there is not affordable housing, enough of it in Dallas. What are the solutions? Well, Dallas has decided over a 3-year period, what they're going to do is they're going to invest, air quotes today are huge, they're going to invest $489 million over 3 years, and that's going to be in the form of subsidies to actual homeowners, subsidies to multifamily developers, so apartment builders, and subsidies to residential developers. So those 3 groups. I'm going to talk about the home ownership and what that looks like. We can go on 1,000 rabbit trails with that, but I'm going to stick to just what the subsidy for a homeowner looks like who used to be able to not afford a house, but now they're going to be able to thanks to this housing policy. Dallas decided that they're going to pick from a map selected areas in Dallas that they feel have a good upside in the coming years, and that's where they're going to institute these policies. And so what does that look like? Well, this is what it looks like. Whiteboard Dave is back. Okay, so here's my example of what this housing policy is going to look like for an individual, again, who used to be able to not afford a house, and now they will be able to. So Dallas identifies certain income groups that they're going to do this to. It's pretty much people that are 60% to 120% of the median income. Median income for Dallas is about $49.50K. So once they establish those people, they figure out how can we get them into a home as soon as possible. So what this looks like, let's say you have an example that they give in the policy is this. Let's say you have a $140,000 house. Let's say it's brand new for this example. $140,000 house, that's the market price for it. Well, traditionally, somebody would find a down payment, closing costs, and then mortgage the rest. In this example, this is their mortgage, FHA, for a $140,000 house, FHA with 3.5% down, their mortgage is going to be $111,720. That's a first mortgage. That's like any other loan, any other property that you're buying. Where the housing policy comes in is it takes the person's would-be down payment and their closing costs, bunches them together, and puts them in a second mortgage. All those numbers total $140, I hope. So that's pretty much what it is. They are taking down payments and closing costs, things that somebody probably wouldn't have. They probably wouldn't have, 32-ish, 33,000 lying around. Well, Dallas is helping them. That's what it looks like. That's as quickly as I could explain that process. But then you'll ask, okay, well, how exactly does it work? Well, Dallas secures this second mortgage with some property. That's nice. They have what's called a recapture policy, which I assume goes into any kind of foreclosure circumstance, but I really don't know. I couldn't find much on it. It's probably out there somewhere. Just need to look harder. But yeah, the recapture policy. And then if the owner goes to sell this home or the deed transfers at any time, then the city of Dallas splits any equity that's been made over the years of owning that home. Yay, everybody wins. So with that delightful idea, there's going to be questions, at least questions that I have, and those questions would be, right off the bat, number one, where is the money coming from? They said that it's going to cost $489 million over 3 years for the Dallas housing policy. Well, where's the money coming from? I don't know. And it's not really stipulated exactly where it's coming from in what I've read. The housing policy is that thick. Maybe it's out there, I don't know. Again, I might have to research harder, but I couldn't find exactly where they're getting this money from. It's a city, and cities usually get their money off of taxes. So are taxes going up? Are they staying the same? Are they pulling the money from other resources? I don't know. So where's the money coming from? We'll have to figure that out. The second question that I would have is, what happens with a resale home? This is a new build example. What about a resale home? Do these homes even qualify for an FHA loan? Because there's different guidelines that the home has to pass for this to work if it's a resale home. So that's a good one. The third question I would have is, what happens if somebody does default? What if they do get foreclosed on by the bank? They can't pay their mortgage. What happens? Well, the city of Dallas is in a second mortgage position. The first mortgage wipes out the second. So that's just their place in line. Their place in line is second. So what happens? Does this go away? Does nobody get any money all of a sudden? Is the city of Dallas out 33 grand? I don't know. So that's a question to have. What happens if they default? And where does that recapture policy come into play? Also, I think the fourth question I would have is, what happens, well, let me do the cheat sheet. So, is the city keeping these second mortgages? Are they keeping them on their books? Most of the time when you get a mortgage, it's sold off to somebody else. The bank doesn't, or the mortgage company doesn't keep it. Is the city of Dallas keeping these mortgages on their books? We don't know. And more importantly, are the people making payments on their second mortgage? Or is it just sitting there so they can get into a house? I don't know the answer to that either. So, in other words, if somebody's making payments on a second mortgage and they stop paying, well, the city of Dallas can now foreclose on them and take a house. What's the city of Dallas going to do with all these houses if they get foreclosed on? Because it's going to happen. So, I don't know. Those are my questions. But if you have any more questions, please fill them in. I'll see if I can even answer them myself. This has been a lot of fun dissecting this. But that's pretty much all I got, guys. And if you want to stick around for more videos to come, I'll see if I can post them as quick as I can. And link them together, I'll figure it out. But that's pretty much it. That's what I have on the Dallas housing policy, pretty much from a 30,000-foot view. Again, more videos to come on that. But thanks for watching, and look forward to the next one. See ya.